All right, so let's review, first of all, the lower beginner. I'm not going to check your code on lower beginner because, I mean, if it's a quiz game, everyone will get the same answers, right? So there's no point there is no freedom in this tier. All right, so let's solve maybe 2 or 3 questions, and then let's jump to the beginner tier. If you have any question, feel free to interrupt me at any time, of course. Yeah. So, yeah. So we are live streaming on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, that means that it will be available there immediately afterwards. Yeah. Hello to our 3 million subscribers. How many millions? All right. So once again, let me try to play the challenge in mobile mode, just to make things a bit more complicated, to be honest. Yeah, so hopefully something like that. So question number 1, why it doesn't work? So the problem here is we got an algorithm partially implemented where, as you can see, am I old? How many arguments the am I old function receives? 1. What type of data are we passing? String? Wrong. Numbers. We're passing a number. So depending on the number, we need to evaluate whether we are old or not. So if I'm 34 years old, technically speaking, I'm not old. If I'm lucky enough to be 103 years old, you are old. Yeah? But if you are exactly 100 years old, you are not old. Yeah? But that's the way the algorithm works. So, hope you can still see the screen, but my face is hiding part of the answer. So let me quickly move my face around the screen, and then we can try again. All right, so in here, what's the right answer, and especially why?
So it's D.
D. Declan said it's D. Why D and not B, for instance?
What does the question mark mean?
Oh, that's a really good question. So the answer. Oh, wait. So, well, first of all, let's solve the problem. Let's solve the problem, and then let's explain the question mark. So, Declan, you said is D. Do you still agree on that?
No.
You change your mind?
It's less than equal to.
Yeah. So if the age is less or equal to 100, you're not old. Yeah. If you are above 100 years old, you're getting old. Right, so should we mark it? Confetti or not confetti? Yes, confetti time. Yeah, that's the right answer. So now, the question, what's the exclamation mark? That's what we technically speaking call the ternary operator. So there is...
So like basically an equal in like SAS, an equal in plus equal, that sort of.
Probably the best way to think about that is like an if-else.
Okay, fine, okay. Cool.
It's a conditional.
Yeah.
So the way to read it is, first of all, that's the condition. If age is less or equal to 100, then return no. And then the colon means else. Yeah, if else. That's a shorthand. You can use an if else, a classic if else, but this is, I hope you agree with me, easier because it's very simplistic. Yeah. There is a training topic about if else, and there is another training topic about ternary operator. So please start practicing. Yeah. Cool. That was question number 1. What about question number 2? Combine strings with variable. I mean, these questions are easy, right? I like them. So once again, I think we solved that before, right? So Peter, hello Peter. Marta, hello Marta. Andrew, hello Andrew. So, what's the right answer and why? B. Why B and not A? Correct. You are right, guys. JavaScript is case sensitive. Confetti time. So one more. It depends. What's the question?
Sorry, we get back to the one before. So you said username,
Yep.
lowercase, and username bottom bit, lowercase. That's fine.
You must match the case.
Okay, fine.
So if your variable has capital N, you should use it with capital N all the time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Get day of the week. Come on, let's do this one. Get day of the week. That's a bit confusing, right? Get day of the week. I didn't want, that was a bad idea, but anyway, let's do it. So get day of the week. We got, can you tell me what type of data is that variable? This is a JavaScript variable. Okay? We will cover data structures and everything. But what type of data is that? That's an array, correct. An array is just a list of elements. So for instance, list of numbers, 0, 1, 2, list of cities, Paris, Moscow, London, yeah? It's a list of elements. Here we got a list of days of the week. So, can anyone tell me how do we access the first element of the week? You got the days variable. How do we get the first day of the week? Array 0, square bracket 0. Correct. Why 0, not 1? Declan. Correct. We as humans, when we start counting at 1. I mean, the month of the year. In which month are we? We're in month number 1, right? We don't say we are in month number 0. That's a bit weird. But JavaScript, most of the time, start counting at 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So that's the syntax, right? To first of all, in order to get an element of an array, the syntax is square bracket. Yeah? Days, square bracket, and then a number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that even if you don't know what's the right answer, to me, B and C, that's bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry, first of all, B. Why B? No, there are no square brackets, right? So that's just random. Option C. Option C. Does that make any sense? So is date a number? 0, 1, 2, 3. What is date? Let's go look again. So date, that's the date we're passing. So date is a proper date object with the day, the month, the year, the minutes, the hours, all these things. It's a complex data structure. It's not a number. So to me, that doesn't make any sense. So now it's in between A and D. So how do you get the day of the week in JavaScript? Is it get day or get date? A or D? Get day. How do you know that?
It's a null function. So you want the day, not the date.
Selected. You're right, guys. In JavaScript, there is a method when talking about dates, gives you the day of the week. But you must be careful because this is based on American format. For Americans, the first day of the week is correct. And for them, the first day of the week, which is Sunday, is index number? Correct. Yeah? Correct. That's the way it works. To me, that's a bit overcomplicated for the first day of the bootcamp, but you know, it's what you got. Yeah? Cool. Any questions?
So if you hypothetically got get month, get the year, that would pull the equivalent of that information.
Yeah. There is an API. I mean, if you go to Google, and you search JavaScript date, there is, I like this. W3 Schools is a good web page, right? It's very easy to read and all these things. So here you see, you can find all the methods to deal with dates. Dates are not particularly complicated. The problem is that generally speaking, you don't manipulate them on a daily basis. Because of that, it's easy to forget. If in your life you end up working on a project which is date-driven, you will find very easy to get the day, get the hour, get the minutes. But if not, every time, it happens to me. I need to go to Google to remember how to get the minutes and how to, all these things, yeah? Any questions, guys? No? Fantastic. So let's jump to the second challenge. That's beginner. And here I would like at some point maybe to check your code. to sniff what you did. All right, so what we got today? I like to do, I don't know, maybe a couple of questions. Question number 1. I'm speaking very slowly until the results get loaded. Here you go. Look, I'm not going to do that question. That question is weird. It's awkward, right? To me, that goes against motivation, because if I tell you how to do that, half of you won't understand anything, right? So let's be pragmatic. Let's try to do something that people can more or less understand, like this one. Question number 2, floor. Can anyone tell me what, from a math point of view, what flooring means? Close it down, correct. So for instance, if I give you the number 7.1, what's the result of flooring it?
7.
If it's 7.9, 7. Let's suppose you get the lower integer. All right, easy, right?
Opposite seating, right?
Say it again.
It's opposite seating.
It's opposite to seal. Correct. Correct. And what's in between? Round. Correct. So what's the result of rounding 7.1? And 7.9? And 7.5?
No.
I don't know. You tell me.
I thought it was runs up. Yeah, it's
I'm talking about round.
yeah.
What's the result of round?
If it's up on 5, I think it rounds up from my GCSE.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Look, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what's the result of rounding 7.49999999? Correct. You got it. So let's talk about maths. So how do we floor a number? Let's do some coding. So math, like that? Oh yes, because JavaScript is case sensitive. Math, what? That's it. Yeah. Easy. I'm not going to check your code because it's impossible to solve the problem doing something differently here, right? Any questions? Once again, there is an entire topic about maths. Floor, round, seal, all these things. What else? How good a student am I? I like this question. That's the last one we're going to do on the beginner. So let's try to understand the problem. Can you read the screen, guys, by the way? Yeah, cool. And yeah. So how good a student am I? So we have, how many arguments do we receive? 2, correct, 2 numbers. Yeah? So imagine that you are going to school and you have 2 exams. These are the results of your 2 exams, of your 2 tests. Yeah? If on both exams you got score, let's understand the scoring criteria from 0 to 100. 0 is like, that was horrible, you did nothing. 100 means that's perfect. So if both results are below 50, the message from the school is you have to improve, right? If the first one is wrong, below 50, but the second one is above 50, that means you're improving, right? You're getting better. On the other way around, if the first one was above 50, but the second one is below 50, you're getting worse. And finally, if both results are above 50, it's fantastic. That's the idea. And now look. So even though the code is a bit complicated, if you pay attention, the structure is quite easy to follow from a human point of view. If, else if, else if. If something, return something else. If something else, return something else. Yeah? That's the idea. It's not that complicated. But now, so need to improve. You see, need to improve. So when do we need to improve? What's the condition with the first score? Should be what? Smaller than 50. What do you think, guys? Do you agree?
Yep.
Fantastic. And here what? Same, right? Smaller than 50. Easy, right? If both the scores are smaller than 50, you have to improve. See if it works. Confetti time. It works. Yeah? Any questions? No? All right, so I'm going to skip it, probably leave it here because I think the other questions are too complicated. No, I'm not. Say again?
Please tell us, please. It's going to bog you. Yeah.
All right, do you want me to do this?
Yes,
Okay. You pay for it, so I cannot argue that.
This way to be on.
Get the first available day for booking. So let me try to understand the problem. Get first available day for booking. So we got one argument. I'm seriously trying to understand the problem because I haven't checked it in 1 year. So I don't even know what the problem is. So we receive an array of days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And then it looks like we have to find the first day that is not Tuesday or Thursday. Imagine that you want to play, I don't know, tennis, and you want to book a court. It's fully booked on Tuesday and Thursday. So you want to get the first day available. So it would be Monday, if there is a Monday on the list. Would be Friday, if there is no Monday or Wednesday. Or if there is only Tuesday, and if my availability is only Tuesday and Thursday, you know, the court is fully booked, so I cannot book it. So that's the idea. So, it's not that complicated actually. Like, you got a list of days, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, that's an array. Let's try to understand find. This is very important, guys. It's very, very, very important. So find is a method in JavaScript that will iterate over each individual element of the list. In this particular case, it will iterate over each day, whichever the day is, right? So first of all, it will stop on Monday, then it will stop on Tuesday, and then it will stop on Friday. It will stop everywhere. This is like the district line going west, right? So, for each day, I want to find the first day that is different to Tuesday and different to Thursday. That's the problem from a human point of view. So let's translate human machine, right? Let's do the translation. So return day different Tuesday. That's the tricky part. Is it or and? If I said or, look, in this case, if I select or, is Tuesday different to Tuesday or Thursday?
It's the difference. So you need to
Because Thursday is only the last one altogether, and Tuesday, okay, fine.
I don't know. Well, I know, but let's assume I don't know how to solve it. So let's put or, right? Or. This is, by the way, this is or. Nice to meet you. You see the double pipe? I know if you've done a bit of Python, that's Python, but that doesn't work in JavaScript. So in JavaScript, it's or. So if day is different to Tuesday, or day different to what?
Tuesday and Thursday.
Let's select or for now. On Thursday, let's see what happens. Yeah? It doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because Tuesday, that's a bit mind-blowing. But Tuesday, in this case, it is different to Tuesday or Thursday. So we should think of it the other way around. We need to find the first day that is not Tuesday and is not Thursday. Yeah, I struggle to explain that, but ignore computing. Think as human. I want to go to a party any day different to Monday, and Tuesday and Wednesday. Starting from Thursday, I will think about it. Yeah, but you definitely want to block these days. So it's definitely different to Tuesday and Wednesday. That's the complexity. That's the algebra logic. That's the and operator, the double ampersand. Yeah? So if the day is different to Tuesday and the day is different to Thursday, that means it's either Monday or Wednesday or Friday. That's the way it works. Let's see if it works. If we test it, yeah, we've got confetti. Yeah? That's a tricky one. But once again, please start with the training. Keep practicing. That will help you a lot. All right, and now finally, I would like to do you want to do this question or do you prefer to do the upper level? Up to you guys. We've got 10 minutes, I think. Any preference? Should we do the upper then, if you don't have any preference? All right, so let me close it and let's do at least one exercise, right? I'm sure you are very tired today. And I'll do one exercise and I'll compare it with your solution. So upper, beginner. And actually we can do something. We can check the code that the Turkish lady wrote, and then we can analyze it. I think it's a very useful way of learning different patterns. So we played and then we select the level of difficulty. And then what? No, I don't want to do dates anymore today. So let me skip that. Let's do that. That's a good question. That's a really good question. It's good because this topic is super important. So I'm not evaluating that from a complexity point of view. I'm evaluating that from the utility perspective. So can anybody tell me what type of data do we receive here? It's an object. That's correct. That's an object. How many objects do we receive? Vicky?
So basically, it has one of its processors, one,
It is only one.
but that's inside.
That's correct. That's one object, one big object, but the object has another nested sub-object inside. Okay? That's the tricky part. That's the tricky part. So imagine that we want to fetch the age. Let's do a bit of coding. Yeah? As you can see on the upper tier, you got nothing, right? You need to build pretty much everything. So first of all, argument. Give me, what's the argument name? This morning I spent like 2 hours with the full-time plan explaining about naming conventions. So for instance, would you call that argument X? Why not?
It can be used in so many different ways.
Exactly. X tells me nothing about the semantics. Can I call it Brexit?
Better.
It's even worse, right? Because Brexit, X, okay, look, X ignores the semantics. You don't know, you have no idea. But Brexit,
It's better than X, but it's all crap.
to me, it's on the other way around. To me, X is better than Brexit. It's misleading, that's the point. If you put X, you are not giving any information to the reader. But if you put Brexit, you are driving the discussion towards a given topic, which is completely unrelated to what you are trying to deal with. So there is a very famous guy. When I do conferences, I used to refer about this guy. That he talks about that if you write good code, a company will fire you because why they need you? You follow standards. You can be easily replaced by another colleague. So his suggestion is write the worst code possible, because no one apart from you will be able to maintain that code, and you will become vital. He's joking, but his point is that he teaches how to write bad code.
Is that for security?
No. Yes, no. That's, no. That has nothing to do with security. When talking about security, we can talk about things like code obfuscation, but we'll talk about that in the future. Well, for now, Brexit, X, not good variable names. All right, so give me a good variable name, guys. Person. I like what Vicky suggested. Person. I mean, I have no idea about the context, but looking at that object, okay, it looks like a person. It's not definitely a Formula One car, right? So I like to call it person. All right, and now imagine that we want to get, first of all, return, right? When you create a JavaScript function, return something. JavaScript functions are like boxes, black boxes. You send some data, like the person, and the function will run something, and it will return something back. That's why the return statement, the return keyword is so important. You can see, thankfully, the editor is highlighting the keywords. Do you know which code editor are we using here? It's VS Code. Yes, it's VS Code. That's the beautifulness of JavaScript. Yeah, I did copy paste VS Code here, not copy paste, right? But I reuse it. It sounds a bit more elegant. And because it's using VS Code, you can do a lot of tricks, shortcuts, and you can copy lines and many things, right? Anyway, so imagine that the problem is about fetching, returning the age, which is not the case, but imagine that. How do you get the age of a user, of a person? Fantastic. Person dot age. So dot is the way in JavaScript you can inspect the content of a property. Person.age will return 41. But in this particular case, we don't care about the age. We care about the first name, which is part of another sub-object. So how do we access Peter? Person, what else? Fantastic. Easy. So with dot notation, we can drill down, we can inspect deeper, we can dig, yeah? Deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's it. Question. Semicolons. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Why, Vicky?
Sorry, semicolon.
Yeah, but
Yeah, to return to
Is it like a full stop at the end of the sentence?
correct. Historically speaking, semicolons were optional. No, sorry, they were mandatory. So without a semicolon, the code will fail. Starting from 2015, semicolons are optional. Some developers don't like them. Some good developers don't like them. I personally love them because, as Bella said, to me this is syntax sugar. Let me give you an example. Imagine that you go on a trip to North Korea, you want to send a letter to your family. Yeah? If the letter looks like that, hello, how are you? I'm fine. I'll be back soon unless I go to jail. Something like that, right? I mean, if your parents read that, I think the message is clear enough. They will understand the message. But I hope you agree with me that in English, like on every single language, as far as I know, you got things like commas, break lines. Why? Because that facilitates the process of understanding a piece of text. So with JavaScript, it's the same. Me, personally, I like the semicolon. It's like a dot. I'm finishing a sentence. Dot. I'm finishing my line. Semicolon. It works. Yeah? Any questions? No?
Would
Yeah.
you put a semicolon at the end of the curly bracket, right at the end?
That's a fantastic question. No. No. Why? Because it's the way JavaScript works. I mean, I'll tell you something. If you do it, I don't think that will hurt. Semicolons don't hurt, speaking. It works. But according to the standards, styling standards, we shouldn't add semicolons at the end. Yeah? So let me do something in literally 2 minutes and then we are gone. We are done for today. So let me quickly check what you did. I mean, I believe everybody did the same, right? I mean, I'm not expecting any magic. So let me refresh the page and quickly see what you did and see if we can spot any problem in your code. So that was get the first Name, here you go. It's a bit slow. All right, so here you go. So you see, our Turkish friend not using semicolons. Again, it works. That depends on your appetite. So Vicky, she's adding semicolons. Did Vicky got any elegance warning? What do you think, guys?
Oh, there's a blank space.
Correct. As Bella suggested, Vicky, empty lines are not good. I know, that's a good point. Many developers, they like to add random break lines. To me, that's an anti-pattern. That remembers me when you were 14 years old and your mom break into your room and she saw disaster of clothes, video games and whatever, yeah? And just tidy up. And what you did is you move the video games to one side, you move the clothes to the other. You're not tidying up anything, you're just moving the shit around, yeah? So this is the space strategy. We shouldn't have empty lines. I know this is sometimes a bit personal, but my point is, if your code needs empty lines to be clear enough, you need to rethink a few things. Why the code is not readable without the empty lines, yeah? Same for Abra, yeah? So the same problem. But which version do you prefer and why? Between Vicky and Abra, can you see any difference? What?
I prefer person because,
Why?
because she uses person.
Correct. You see Abra? So for me, no, but it's a good point. I mean, it's a valid discussion. It's a healthy discussion. So with Vicky, I can immediately spot we're dealing with person. With Abra, it takes me a bit more time, yeah, because X, what is X? Yeah? So let's try to deal with this basic stuff. And I think that's pretty much it. So I think I wanted to show you something, but I completely forgot. So maybe in the next day. Anything else, guys?